Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of It Ends With Us. I am Brittany Wilder. I am your hostess with the mostest, and I help divorced women reclaim their identity and rise again in their confidence, in their peace, and in their divine power. And I am so excited because we have another guest, you guys, today, and I am going to let her introduce herself. Her name is Wanda Pearson. Welcome, Wanda.
Thank you, Brittany, for having me. And I tell you that the topic today is so for real, you know? But thank you. I appreciate it. So I am Wanda Pearson. I help entrepreneurs, small businesses, and families get legally, financially, and successfully protected with my faith-based coaching and to make sure that they're successful in anything that they do, as far as making sure that I can help them in anything they want to do. And that's what my passion is, as far as helping you with that.
Particular podcast is all about generational curses, breaking them down, bringing awareness to them, and talking about them in a platform so that people can hear and kind of understand that maybe there's some things that they're going through in their families. They can identify themselves in each and every one of these different episodes. And we know we are the generational curse breakers, and it is a task, but
Yes.
we are definitely prepared for it. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. The first question I always ask Wanda is, what is that generational curse, that cycle, that family pattern that you noticed that you had to break?
Well, growing up in Chicago, Illinois, and having my mother, who actually was young, actually graduating from high school. She was no, she graduated from high school, got pregnant with me, and I was born in November. So the generation of curse was actually, I was surrounded by abuse. I was surrounded by alcoholism and substance use. So, I don't know. It was just like everything that I saw that I did not want in my life, and the pain and dysfunction it was normalized as far as they were concerned, and the silence often became survival. So I survived in that atmosphere, and thank God for my father, my stepmother, my grandmother, who helped me to say, you don't have to do this. You don't have to be part of that lifestyle. And I knew that I did not want that. So I am so thankful to God that He protected me during this time, that I didn't know as a child what was going on. I just know that this was like a normalization here. But I recognize these struggles were not only isolated, but they were cycles passed down from generations through generations. Like I said, my grandmother, my mother's mother, um, my stepfather, then my mother. And I think I mentioned this before as far as how it happened when my mother was abused as well, not only with her mother, but with my stepfather. And working in, and we talked about this as far as working in a bar. My mother was a barmaid, and her husband's father owned the bar. So that was actually how all of that started with the alcoholism. Um, but I knew in my heart this was not my legacy. And I knew I did not want it to continue. So I actually kept saying, God, but I didn't know really about God, but I know God was there for me to protect me during those times. So,
Right. Right. Ooh, the covering. Always, right? Always. It's funny that like hearing your story because we're all so connected, right? I come
mhm,
from, a background of heavy alcoholism, heavy drug addiction, just addictions in general. So I know that that's going to resonate with somebody as they listen to this episode.
yeah.
So how did that pattern show up in your life? What was like a aha moment that you had that you realized like this is it? It's gonna end here with me. We're never moving forward. I love how you're like I knew that I didn't want that in my legacy. I knew that I
Mhm.
didn't want to pass that on. I love that. So what does that story look like?
Well, the pattern showed up emotionally with fear.
Mm,
Fearful of my stepfather when he came home drunk. Fearful that he would beat me because I didn't have dinner ready. And I was only 5 years old. Now, 5 years old, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm taking care of my brothers and sisters. So I really didn't have a childhood. So it was the insecurity that I had and living in a survival mode. So it was just survival, and my mother always tried to protect me. But it was really something that I looked at and saw how that was, and I just didn't like the feeling of I didn't want this in my life. And if I had children, which I do have children, I don't
Yes.
want that in their lives either. And I did not want a husband that actually was an alcoholic or abuser or whatever. So I carry responsibility too early. Like I said, 5 years old, and often felt the need to hold on to everything to hold on to it, everything together. I didn't want to tell my father. I didn't want to let them know what was going on because I knew what would happen if my father knew what was
Mhm.
going on. The turning point came for me when I realized I didn't just want to survive. I wanted peace. It was
Mm.
always peace for me. I wanted purpose and freedom. I made a decision that the cycle, would stop with me. It had to stop with me. It had to say, okay, Wanda, this is not what you want. This is not what you need. This is not what you want my generation, my children to have. So it had to stop with me as far as that cycle. And I saw a lot of that happening with my mother's mother, how she was treated, and how she was not treated right. I mean, she treated me okay, but that's because my father was her favorite, and that was the thing that she wanted my mother to marry my father, but my mother did not want to hold my father back from that, and unfortunately, she ended up marrying my stepfather. So
But it's always so crazy how our family ties are, right? You're like, well, my grandmother treated me right because she liked my dad. And there's
mhm.
so many of those different stories that are like, we get favor because of the connections and all that. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, I actually tried the alcohol, and I I did not like how I feel. I did not know what a hangover was until I
Oh,
felt I felt a headache.
you're
I
like,
felt a
never
stomach
again.
ache. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? I didn't know what was going on with me. And I said, oh no. And that's what they said. Well, you got a hangover, Wanda. Hey, this is what a hangover feel like? Oh no, I don't want no part of it.
Right. I don't want that. I cannot do that. Right. I think I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't like how my body feels. I like to feel
Yeah.
good every day. I'm a high energy type of person. So it's like, if
Yeah.
my energy is off from a hangover, oh no, I do not
Yeah.
like it.
I like to know what's going on. I don't like to not know what's going on. And I'm gonna tell you, when I was in college, I went to college at 16 years old. I was in college and we played this game, as far as if we said the wrong thing, then you could pass the bottle.
Uh-huh.
So I would kind of fake it and just keep passing it, make sure that I got the right answers because I said, oh, I don't want this feeling here. And so, but yeah, it was a journey, especially when you're in college. You're drinking and you're smoking and all this other stuff. I even tried smoking and I choked to death. I said, oh, I don't want this either. So,
It's
so
not good for me. I'm good. I am good across the board. Like, no.
exactly, exactly. So it's just really breaking those generation codes because I knew with my two daughters. That this is not for me, it's not for you, but you're gonna have your own experiences and you're
Yes.
gonna see, and they see, so they don't do that either. I mean, we have like I drink wine. Well, my favorite is pina coladas now. Now, if I go to an island, I like to drink my pina coladas, okay?
That's right.
But
Put
I
my
know
umbrella in it, please. Thank you.
and a pineapple.
Yes. Love it. I love it. And I love that, you're like, my daughters, you gave them the space to still be able to experience life and however it looks like for them. And they still made the decision, like, no, not so much, mom.
Mhm.
But I love that because I know that fear can stop us from allowing our babies to live their lives and, to do whatever. Of course, we raise them up, right? We raise a child in the way they're supposed to go. And we
Absolutely.
pray over them and we just pray that God covers them in whatever they do and
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? They're gonna enjoy and figure out what life looks like for them. But
Yep,
it is
exactly.
we already did our part. We already instilled inside of them that seed of what is right and what is wrong.
Exactly. And that really what matters because I mean you have a daughter, I have two daughters, and I
Absolutely.
I have four granddaughters. So the
Yeah.
same thing. You want to instill in them that this is not the right, well, my opinion, but you're gonna
Yes.
have your own opinion.
Correct. That part.
Right way to go, and don't let anybody force you into doing something that you don't want to do. And that was
Yeah.
my whole thing as far as
Yep.
them raising. I'm very proud of how they became who they became, today.
I love it. I love it. All right. And my last question, Miss Wanda, is what are the tools or the practices, the faith strategies that helped you break free from the generational curse? Like, what are the things that you implemented in your life, in your daughter's lives, to make sure that, you guys would be free of this generational curse?
What was faith? Faith became my foundation. And faith is tiny as a mustard seed. I remember my parents gave me in a little plastic bag, a mustard seed. But I
Yeah.
remember going through when I moved here to Georgia, through different situations, and I didn't believe in faith because it just wasn't, happening. I mean, how can you say faith and it's not happening, God? I mean, what do you want me to do? And when I
Mm,
start praying, I had a manager that I worked with at IBM, and she said, Wanda, I want you to say this too shall pass.
yeah.
That helped me to say this too shall pass, and that faith just became my foundation.
Amen.
Prayer, forgiveness, and healthy boundaries were key, right? Forgiveness didn't excuse the harm, it released me from carrying it. I didn't want to carry it for someone. I released that, and that's where that freedom came to play. So to anyone fighting the same battle, I would say you are not responsible for the same battle you that you were born into, but you are responsible for what you're allowed to continue. Do not allow that to continue. I always tell my mother, don't let nobody steal your joy. Don't let
Yes.
anybody take away. And healing is possible, and freedom is real. It is real. Once you do that forgiveness and know it in your heart that you actually forgave, you know, generations of what happened to you, then you are free. You have the
Yes.
freedom to do to give what God, and that's how you be blessed.
Yeah.
When you do that forgiveness, your blessings come because I remember when I actually forgave the abuse that I had. It took years. I thought I had forgave. I mean, back when I was in college, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't. It was still on my heart, and God put it on my heart that you still need to forgive this person. I'm like, wait, what? I went through a total forgiveness class
Yeah.
in church. It was a prayer. It was actually Bible study. And when he said that, I'm like, I thought I forgave him. But once I did, that's where your freedom and your blessings flow. So,
Yes.
but I just want to say breaking the generational curse isn't about perfection. It's not perfection. It's about the courage that you have. When you choose to heal, you don't just change your life, you change your legacy. So my
That's right.
legacy is that forgiveness and the freedom that I have that God has given me to be able to share with others. And I love what I'm doing. And actually, I was telling you about my book, Forgiveness, Walking in Freedom Through God's Grace. Um,
Yes.
that book I got a couple of chapters to write with it. But that book is actually, I got to keep stopping because every day we got to ask God to forgive you. There's some of the things that
Amen.
you would think that you need forgiveness on, but you got to continually ask,
Yeah.
Lord, forgive me. I mean, even driving down the street, something happens. You say some words and forgive me.
Uh-huh.
Forgive me what
Somebody
I
cut
just
you
did.
off.
I tell
Lord,
you,
forgive me for cussing this person out. They done cut me off, Lord.
forgive me. I'm like, what the heck? Oh, God, forgive me.
Right. That's right.
So
I love,
yeah, so
I
it's all
love,
about forgiveness and healing and not taking that generational curse with you. And I'm so happy and proud what God has made me to be who I am today, as far as a person that I can actually share my passion, as far as share my coaching, as far as faithful. How do you succeed in doing what you have to do as far as your business? So
I love that. Ooh. Thank you so much, Miss Wanda. Let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to, follow up. They want to get your book, which is going to be amazing. It's about forgiveness, you guys. And just like she said, it's a choice that we make each and every day. We have to forgive each and every day. It's not just something we deal with one moment and then 6 months go down the road and we're like, oh yeah, let me pick up that forgiveness again.
yeah.
Like, no, it is daily,
It,
intentional.
yes, it's a daily, and as I'm finishing up my book, I have to keep stopping because I think about things that happened to me in the past,
Right.
and that past is not. I'd say the past does not equal the future.
Come on.
Yeah. The future is something that God already has plans for you. And I'm gonna tell you my Bible verse. I'm gonna tell you how to get in touch with Jeremiah 29:11.
Yes.
God has plans for you, plans to prosper you, to give you a future, and to give you hope. So that has been my motto going to as far as Jeremiah 29:11,
Right.
and something that I fall back on whenever and I have it on both my books. as far as that term is. So, but anyway, they can get in touch with me, girl. I can talk for days. So they can get in touch with me at WD Pearson Associates, and actually it's like that, but it's no space in it. So WDPearsonAssociates.com is my website. That's where you will find my information. Do get started and send me an email at Wanda at WDPearsonAssociates.com. My number is 678-761-5781. You can also do that QR code that I have behind me. Um, and I would love to connect with you and see how and my favorite thing that I always say, collaboration is the key to success. How
It is.
can we work together to collaborate in any business that we have? But also, if you need help with it, learning how to forgive, learning how to move forward, and to be able to succeed in whatever you do. So,
You so much for coming on. You guys already know every Thursday we're here. If you are feeling a nudge, because you know God works on us in so many different ways, and sometimes it can be just as simple as you hearing a word in a podcast where He
mhm.
nudges you to do something more. Go ahead and book that consultation today, okay? Y'all already know we're all about healing over here. It is 2026. We are not waiting anymore. We are moving into a beautiful year of greatness. I've been talking to people about 2026, and everybody has the same idea. This is my year. This is my year. This is my year. This is your.
Yes,
It's time.
this it is. And I want to say, when you go on my podcast, do the little lines there. I have my podcast. I'm sorry, when you go on my website,
Yes.
Miss Brittany is on my podcast. So make sure you look at those podcasts, and also Taria Avant. She's actually on my podcast. So I have quite a few entrepreneurs that are on
Yes.
my podcast. So definitely take a listen and make sure you subscribe, like, and follow.
That's right. That's right. All right, you guys. We'll talk to you guys later. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.